Brightest blessings, everyone. I want to talk to you guys about one thing that I've been talking to a few people about on YouTube and Facebook, and I've been getting not only a lot of people that disagree with me, but people are very hostile about this stuff. And I don't know if it's because you just straight up disagree with me or you don't understand what I mean by a certain term. And that term is white privilege. Now, I am of the belief that white privilege does exist, and very much so exists. Listening to other people's stories and all that stuff, but also because I have my own story. And it's happened to me a time or two. It's not like it constantly happens to me. I've even had someone play me a video where a black gal was admitting that white privilege doesn't exist, which is really hard for me to swallow because I myself have experienced it. I don't know if maybe just her definition of white privilege is different than mine, so I'm going to basically make myself quite clear in what I mean and what my definition is of white privilege. To me, if anything happens to you or you are allowed to do something strictly because of the color of your skin or even a religion that you belong to, as long as that other person has knowledge of this and you don't believe that you would have been able to do something like this if it weren't for your religion or for your skin color or for any particular reason, to me, that is privilege. Not specifically white privilege unless you're a white person able to do that because you're a white person. Okay, so let me give you an example of my personal experience with white privilege. When I first moved to Arizona, I lived in Mesa in a very, very big apartment complex filled with mostly Hispanic people. There was more diversity when I first moved there, and as time went on, it became less and less diverse to where really we were only a few people who were white that lived in the building. Most people were Hispanic, and a great deal of people had license plates actually from Mexico. So I don't know if they were actually illegal or what. I certainly hope not, because I had to sign a great deal of papers to prove not only was I legal, but I had no record or anything like that. Now, we lived on the bottom floor, but we lived in the back building, okay? Now, we had an entrance from the left and from the right, but unfortunately, we were like in the center of the building. So if we came in from the left or the right, it was an equal amount of distance to our apartment. And us being lazy, what we did was we parked in the back of the building right directly behind our apartment. And so our bedroom window and the second bedroom window were right there. All we had to do, now we didn't do this to the master bedroom, but we did it to the office, is we took the screen off the window and basically one of us went inside the apartment and the other one of us went outside and unloaded the vehicle, passing the groceries from the car through the window to the next person, and then we unloaded the groceries that way. Pretty much we unloaded anything that way. And I remember one time crime had really gone up in the apartments. So not only did they start having security, their own security there, but it got so bad to where they actually had the Mesa police do a drive-by on a regular basis as well. Well, this happened to be a time where we were actually getting our TV fixed, and I don't remember if we were on our way to get it fixed or if we were bringing it back from getting it fixed. But all I remember is two white chicks, me and my girlfriend, passing a TV through a bedroom window. That is awfully suspicious, especially in an apartment complex with such a high crime rate that they had to get their own security force and then have the actual Mesa Police Department do drive-thrus. I didn't recognize these police people. I've never seen them before. So I guess they were new on that particular drive-thru. So therefore they didn't know me either. I was scared to death going, okay, they're going to stop. They're going to ask me for my, what I was doing, for my driver's license, for my ID, all that stuff, and to prove that TV was ours. But no, we didn't. We just got a nod and a wave. So they obviously saw us. They didn't even slow down. Now, considering we were in a very high crime apartment building, and to where they had to do that drive-through, I'm wondering, does anybody watching this video honestly think that if I was not white and my girlfriend was not white, that they wouldn't have stopped? If I was Hispanic, if I was black, if I was Asian, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if Asians would have been stopped for that. But if I was black or Hispanic, yeah, I'm guessing I would be stopped. And in my book, that is white privilege. I tried to explain this to friends of mine who disagree with me, and I get all kinds of excuses like, are you sure they didn't recognize you? No, I didn't recognize them. Why would they recognize me? But, I'm not saying that white privilege is the only privilege that exists either. I believe that every race has its own privilege from time to time. And does it happen all the time? Most likely, most of the time, no. But it does happen. And it is there, and you should be aware of it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with pointing it out. Is there anything wrong with the privilege? Depending. Maybe, maybe not. There's some really bad areas that I couldn't get into because of my skin color. Maybe it's just a real bad neighborhood, a real bad, ghetto. Me being a white chick probably would be a lot more scared going down there than if I was black or Hispanic. I believe every race and every faith has some sort of privilege. And maybe some negative stuff to go with it too. I'm not saying that, oh boy, white people are the only one with privilege and it happens all the time and we're the ones pushing buttons and we're the man and all that stuff. Now, that one thing that black gal did say on the video, which was kind of troublesome and really I have to say I highly disagree with, is that she did point out that maybe Jews had privilege. And I think maybe I've experienced something that was, and I'm thinking maybe I've experienced privilege maybe a little bit more than 3 times in my life, but these were so in your face. Yeah, it was privilege that you cannot deny it. So these are the only 3 that I really count. Otherwise, it's just a matter of judgment, really. But she had said that Jews she could see as having privilege. Now, I disagree with that. Now, a lot of people don't know this. I'm not Jewish by religion, but I am by blood. My father's side are Jews. Well, if you look at me, do I look Jewish? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Jewish or white? Are you going to say, hey, that white girl over there, or that Jewish girl over there? You have no way of determining that I'm Jewish unless I tell you. So in my mind, any privilege that happens to me, unless I specifically tell you that my father's side are all Jews, cannot come because I'm Jewish. It would have to be because of something obvious, that I'm white. So in my mind, the privilege that I've experienced in my lifetime was simply because I was white. That's all. I can't see how it would come from me being Jewish, because no one would know. Could it be because I'm Jewish? Possibly. If they knew. I don't think I look Jewish. You know. So I think if you stop and you think back, I think every one of us have experienced some privilege in our lifetimes due to the color of our skin or due to our religious backgrounds, as long as someone was aware of that difference. And you just have to really look and say, hey, privilege does exist. White privilege too. And Hispanic privilege and black privilege and Asian privilege and Indian privilege. I don't think it's that hard to grasp. And I don't think that even if you don't grasp it and you still don't agree with me, you should get so angry with that particular idea. I personally don't see how you cannot see it. I also disagree with it being just white privilege. Everybody has had their own privilege. Okay? I tell you, I used to live in East Palo Alto, California, before it got to be a really nice area. It's really nice. It was really bad. In fact, when I lived there, it was considered one of the most dangerous cities in the United States at that point in time. And when I moved in, I got called a lot of names. And it was scary too, because I was by myself when I moved in. I had a lot of people promising to help me, and no one was there to help me. They all backed out. Basically, I had to make multiple trips with my car and run back and forth, because I didn't even have the security key for the parking. And I had people on the stoops shouting at me, hollering at me, "What, you lost, white girl?" You think I would have gotten that if I had been black or Hispanic? I'd say maybe, but the chances are a lot less. And specifically said, since they did say, "You lost, white girl? You don't belong here." Well, I kind of did. I lived in the apartment complex. And someone even got in my face. I was really scared I was going to get in a fight. I didn't back down. And I even shoved her and asked her what her fucking problem was. Do you think I would have gotten that if I was Hispanic or black in that part of town? No. So there, I would have had the privilege of moving in peace without feeling in danger if I was black or Hispanic. So we all have our privilege. We just need to recognize it and check it. Brightest blessings.